Even a handshake deal in some contexts, if you get it on camera, can be legally binding. Sex is not legally binding.
Right.
Feelings and emotions are not legally binding. So exactly, if a man can't break his promise to you because this is his promise, he cannot. Any dude can, like literally, all these women that say, "Oh, this is my dude," or "We're together forever." I mean, you got to look at how some people look at them like, you don't know how bad this dude is going to play you. He's getting the milk for free.
Clear definition of what cheating is to them or being unfaithful. What does that actually look like? Some people may say, oh, going on a date. Some people may say flirting, conversation, or actual sex. I don't know where that line is drawn for most people. Everyone's different, so that's kind of what I want everyone to go through first.
I don't believe cheating is a thing. I don't believe it's real. These couples that are boyfriend and girlfriend, I do not believe that you can be cheated on if you're a girlfriend or boyfriend because you're not married. I believe only married people can commit adultery, which you could call it cheating. Adultery would be doing anything with the other sex that you know that you could not do in front of your wife or husband. If there's something that you're doing that you can't do it in front of your wife or husband, you're being sneaky, which leads to other things. So in that way, I would see it as cheating.
Okay. So we have Amir's definition. Does anyone have a different one they'd like to share?
I think I'm about to say I think you can cheat even if you aren't in a marriage. I think cheating, just by definition, is there's a level of deceit or trickery, right? And so you don't have to be in a relationship or you don't have to be married in order to be deceptive in your movements. Like, I think cheating is being deceptive to what you said or what you try to establish through your words, right? So if I say, hey, even if we're not married, hey, I'm only dealing with you, and then I establish a verbal, contract that says this is the extent of how we interact with each other, and then I break it through deceit or not keeping it, or maybe not keeping it, but just through deceit, that's cheating. But if I say, hey, we interact this way, but I also interact with other people, I can never cheat because I let you know. Like, there's no deceit in that. I was very clear in that. So that's my thoughts on it. Because cheat doesn't imply marriage, nowhere in the definition of it.
Yeah. I got a similar definition to Cheeky's. It's deceptive or dishonest behavior that involves but is not limited to having sex with someone else. So
anyone else have anything different? Because I kind of want to have that base before we go into the next topic.
I would say, though, just to add an additional layer, because I do agree with Cheeky and Trigger Mike. However, I would say it has to involve, at least for the men, some type of sexual interaction, because you can be, deceitful, but that's not cheating. Like if you're lying about finances or something, definitely still bad, but that's not cheating. And then, so it would have to be some type of physical, it doesn't have to be sex, I would say, even just like kissing or whatever. And then for men and women, but also I would add for women, I don't know if I want to go as far as to say cheating, but I would say it's pretty much up there. If you're messaging guys and if you're acting inappropriately, that's cheating. And in my opinion, for women. So yeah, if that makes sense.
Sayeda, did you have a different, or Fatima? Is it Fatima or Fatima? Pronounce it for me.
It is Fatima, but Fatima, is fine.
Sorry if I didn't say it right. I was getting roasted in that.
You said it right. I would say that it's not just the physical. I would say texting, anything that sexting, anything where you're forming an emotional attachment to someone, and again, like you guys said, sneaky, deceitful, dishonesty, but also, I don't just say the physical. I say if it was just, even just somehow emotional. So they don't have to have physical touch, even if it's just, through phone and
because you could cheat in your mind. You could.
Oh, well, no, not that. So not that. That's like that. no, not mine. I wouldn't say,
Mm-hmm.
you know, it's between two
You
people.
can have fantasies about people. Is
Fantasies,
that not considered? No.
That's paranoia. If I'm like, what are you, thinking and all that, I can't. That's too much. But I would say like
Okay.
just
She said, "What are you thinking?"
Yeah.
like
You're cheating in my dreams.
Because no, I've heard women say like, "I can tell you're not here." Like, who are you thinking about while they're sleeping with another woman? I've heard of that.
oh right.
That's crazy. That's like trying
That
to get
is a little bit much.
I have
That's
heard
paranoia. I was
that.
But I get what they're saying,
Right,
but you
right.
know.
Now,
Like,
I
think
agree
about
with
someone else.
your definitions. I would say the moment that you get into a situation or try to get like it's same dynamic from like what you have with your partner. It's kind of like you want to replace your partner. So whatever you're supposed to be doing with your partner, you're doing it with someone else, and then you start giving the attention that you used to give initially to your partner. Now you're giving it to someone else. That one thing takes you to another one. So if you started with the flirting and that's how it starts, and then if you keep going, it's just gonna get you to to that point. So it's the initiation, when you start seeing someone with with different intentions, I'll say.
Can I add something too, Kelly?
Of course.
You were talking about the definition of cheating. Also, cheating, the definition when it comes down to rules in sports, and so it's just breaking the rules, right? Cheating is breaking the rules in sports, and you could also transfer that into relationships and marriage. You're breaking the rules. The rules that we set up from the beginning were like monogamy, if that is part of your rules in your relationship, or not sharing yourself emotionally, spiritually, physically with others. Just breaking the rules in general, right? I forget who brought it up. I don't know if it was Fatima. She said something about the emotional aspect of it, that you can emotionally cheat. Sharing yourself emotionally, okay, the question is, would you still consider punishment to your spouse because they cheated emotionally, or would you say that was something that you did wrong that put your spouse in that position to be emotionally available for another person?
You're asking me?
Mm-hmm. Or anyone else.
Yeah, I mean, punishment, I don't know what, punishing a spouse for emotionally cheating. Yeah, I mean, there's levels, right? Because it's emotional, it wasn't physical. So yeah, I mean, it would be not severe, like such a big thing, but it would still be like, there's levels. So I think that would be like that first level and things like that. And so that would be definitely something that needs to be discussed. And then it just gets to higher levels, and then there's just more and more consequences. That's what.
Yeah,
I'm saying.
because that
Can you
emotion
guys give an
can just lead
example
to
of
other things. Go ahead.
Sorry. Can you guys give an example of emotional cheating? Probably I don't have it on top of my head right now. Like
when I was referring to emotional, I was just thinking of like when you're texting someone and you're somehow in communication with someone, and it's between two people, not just in our mind, and that.
Could that be like dreaming about someone too? Like dreaming about another person? Would that be emotional?
I think she means like if you're giving what you would normally give to your spouse or your
Like
significant
confiding
other,
in
like,
them.
what's going on. Yeah, you're confiding in them, asking them what they think and how they feel. You guys are having conversations deep when you should be doing that with your significant other or your spouse. So is that
some of y'all hard? So we can't talk to y'all.
Yeah, someone in the chat said intimate communication. Yes.
Oh, Lindora said that. Oh.
Well, y'all be cheating on therapists, huh? Y'all just be talking to y'all therapists, telling you.
That's
Some
different.
wives and
They're
husbands.
They're helping you work
That's
through
an
it.
expensive cheating.
Well, that's how it's supposed to be.
No, I don't think so, because they're helping you work through your issues, and you can even have a couples therapist, and you could do it together. So was it like a threesome? Is that a threesome then?
Oh my.
Cheeky, you're muted.
I know. I'm just talking to myself. Some
Oh,
things
okay.
don't need to be said.
something that really caught my attention, and I really like that Amira said is that is an agreement. Marriage is an agreement, and from the moment that you go through, if it's a religious marriage, for example, and you're marrying under that religion, is under that foundation, you're already breaking the rules. And a lot of people try to say, oh, just because he cheated, la 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 la, it's breaking the rules. So it only works when the woman does it, but not when the man does it, because apparently they don't believe that the men should go under this. But it's not every religion. So I would say that if that's your foundation and you're marrying under those circumstances, under that contract, because at the end that's what it is, then you're breaking the rules.
So I actually agree with Amira's definition more so than anyone else's, because
I win.
no, I mean, because I think of it more from
She cheated.
whatever.
I did
think of it-
not cheat.
I think of it more from a Christian standpoint. So, like the way I was raised, you're not supposed to have sex outside of marriage, but a lot of people today, they do have sex outside of marriage. So, yes, you can cheat now, but you really aren't supposed to be cheating because you aren't even supposed to make it to that point before marriage. So, can you cheat on someone you shouldn't even be sleeping with?
I had somebody in the chat say, "Oh, that made no sense when I said it." I'm like, well, if you're a person who grew up traditionally, you would understand that you're not supposed to be having sex with nobody anyway. So the fact that you are having sex and you're expecting monogamy from someone that you aren't
Didn't
committed
make
to
that
fully,
commitment,
yeah,
lifetime commitment. So
your relationship isn't even seen in the eyes of God. You're not even really legit for us. So really, can you really cheat on someone that you haven't committed to in that way before God? I don't know.
Yeah,
I
if
don't
you're not
believe so.
married, the saying goes, if you're not married, you're single. I love how people try to make so many different circumstances to legitimize their relationship. And yes, if it's a true relationship that is a true courtship and you see the stages in which a man is taken to ultimately make you his wife, then, nobody wants to say there's leeway there because, yes, we've all slept with the person. Well, most of us slept with the person before we married them. But these situationships that people are trying to say, he cheated on me, and absolutely not. Absolutely not.
It depends,
Doesn't-
because the way I see it is like, if me and you, Trigger Mike, you have a business, or we have a business together, we're partners, we, and shake hands. It's a verbal agreement that we do, and it's valid. According to what I know in the US, a verbal agreement, even over the phone, when you're talking to a customer, is a verbal agreement. So you cannot lie about it. And if me and you have an agreement of exclusivity, and then I break the rule, automatically it's cheating. Regardless, if I like it or not, that's what it is.
So what you're talking about, something is legally binding, right? Even a handshake deal in some context, if you get it on camera, can be legally binding. Sex is not legally binding.
Right.
Feelings and emotions are not legally binding. So exactly, if a man can't break his promise to you because this is his promise, he cannot. Any dude can, like literally, all these women that say, "Oh, this is my dude," or "we're together forever." I mean, you got to look at how some people look at them like, you don't know how bad this dude is going to play you. He's getting the milk for free. You see what I'm saying? And even if a dude naturally feels like he wants to marry a woman and she just lets him carry on without that promise, right? Without anything substantial to solidify the relationship. So when we get into this particular sphere of relationships, I don't believe it applies in that business sense that you're making. You know what I'm saying? Because that is, that's purely business. It can be like those handshake deals, verbal agreements are legally binding. All of that has legal precedence. But relationships, people have been carrying on in those things.
It's like, it's your word. It's more like you trust the word of that person. So it's more like the value of your word, and how valuable your word is.
You also
I don't think it is valid. But however, I wanted to say that if that's not cheating, then all these women are not cheating if you're not married with them.
No, I agree.